Well, dang. I thought the Shadow and Bone series on Netflix was going to improve upon the books. It did not. I was only 5 minutes into watching the show when I got super annoyed because, like, can the writers stop doing the thing where they feel they have to explain a casting choice? Couldn't we just have had Alina cast as she was and wonderfully played by Jessie Mei Lee without having to say, oh yes, she looks part Shu Han because... It was a very unnecessary part of the show. And it, like, made some characters unlikable. Like, Zoya was still not a nice person in the books, but she wasn't racist. And, like, also you can be feeling alienated as a character like Alina felt alienated when she was younger without it having to be because of racism. It was a weird choice. But I love Jessie Mei Lee, so I'm glad she played Alina no matter what. I am in love with the cast. Like, they're super great. They are diverse. They played their roles well. They did the best that they could with the writing that was given to them. I think my favorites are probably Inej, Nina, and Mal, who in this show is way less of a jerk than Book Mal, which is great. Of course, that might change in future seasons, but I love season 1 Netflix Mal. He's great. I feel like if they had just had the characters from the original trilogy, there would have been so much more time to explore the characters and their emotions and give them backstory, which would have helped because I felt like the whole show was very rushed and way too jam-packed. Like, it was all about plot. And I would have liked to have spent more time on character. So that was like my biggest gripe about the show in general. Like, I love the Crows. They're great, but I feel like all of them deserve their own expansive story and screen time and the space to tell their story. So I wish it would have been, maybe if they had more episodes, they could have done a better job with having all the characters from the Grishaverse crammed into one thing. But the way they did it, it was too much at once. I mean, there were some weird plot points that got added in and changed around. There were some that I weren't aware of because I haven't finished the Six of Crows duology. But that's neither here nor there because technically this is prequel material for the Six of Crows characters. I will say that the technical aspects of the show were fantastic. Like, stunts, like the fire bending and the air bending. They were like better than the last Airbender movie. And I know it's not called bending in Shadow and Bone, but I'm just, yeah. Anyways, so that stuff was great. And the music was, it was decent. I would have liked it to have been more memorable. I think it would have been great if they had like an actual opening sequence a la Game of Thrones. I kind of missed that. That would have been nice. And it would have made the music probably more memorable to me. I was grateful that the lighting was always good. Even in like darkness scenes, you could see everything. It was beautifully done. So great job lighting, people. The one character that I wasn't sold on was David. And I don't know if this was because of an acting choice or a directorial choice, But okay, the one scene where he was like, raising his hand, that was pure David. But at the Winter Fate, that David standing in the corner, kind of like giving a little sexy smirk, that wasn't David. I feel like that choice should have been different. Like, David really, in the books, was a character that I was very attuned with. He was like more into his science and his craft and his books than in any sort of relationship at first. And I feel like they sprung the relationship card too soon for him. Like, they didn't give him the time in this season to be like book one David, where he's like totally not interested in Genya at all. Which, by the way, when I read the book, I thought her name was Genya, not Genya. Oops. Which also that happened with some of the other words. Like, I read the word Grisha as Grisha. Shows how much I know. But I think it's a good, like, escapism show. I mean, I'll probably watch it again, and I love the costume design. Oh, don't get me started on the costume design. It was brilliant. But it's definitely not my favorite YA adaptation. I think that title is still held by the Hunger Games films, because they were so well done. They didn't add too much new stuff in. They didn't change a lot, and it worked. Now I know things have to be changed sometimes for the sake of adaptations, but I mean, one big thing actually that they changed in this one, spoilers, is that Marie died. And I'm also like, wait, that's not supposed to happen yet. And also, like, the collar. Like, everyone on TikTok is talking about the collar. And with good reason, because it's just grotesque and creepy and unnecessary. Like, I feel like it would have been better just to keep the necklace. Another thing that with the writing that, like, I found lacking was that Alina's journey to become the Sun Summoner and have control of her powers seemed a bit too easy. And even some relationship things with the people around her seemed to come a bit too easy. You didn't feel that tension and resolve with having a conflict and having it take her a long time to get along with people or to get her powers under control or, like, bring them to the surface. It just felt like things were too easy. I did enjoy the humor, especially when it came to the crows. And Milo. Oh my god, I love Milo. Best character. Milo the goat. Although I do not condone using animals for entertainment purposes, but that's neither here nor there. So overall, yeah, definitely would have liked more character building and believability. There was too much focus on plot and action. Also, I wanted more Baghra. Like, Madame Hooch. No, I'm just kidding. That's not her real name. Like, the actress who played her was fantastic. Oh yeah, and the thing where, like, they changed a lot of the romantic subplot points. Like, Alina kissed the Darkling first. That was weird. She didn't kiss Mal at all, unless I totally missed something. And then the whole Mooft plot point where, like, you learn Alexander's name, like, right in the first season of the show, instead of having him be called the Darkling or just General Kurgan. Like, it makes him too personable and, like, approachable at first. And, like, I get why they did that, but, like, I loved the reveal in the books where it came later. And I think for people who read the books, obviously they would already know that his name is Alexander and that that's a huge thing. But for people who are new to the show, it's kind of disappointing that they would know that right away. So yeah, there were things that could have been improved, but I guess it was an enjoyable watch and a good distraction overall. Yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments if anybody actually watches these ever. So enjoy watching Shadow and Bone, and apparently we get like 4 more seasons. Oh, and I totally forgot. I loved the Shadow Man line. It just made me think of Princess and the Frog. So, peace.